of the Lord your God. That Jesus is being born in Bethlehem.
I haven't learned Bible in a long time, so I don't know the answer.
To trust God and know that He will always be with you, and to obey Him.
I don't actually know. Okay.
Oh wait, so I know the first one would have a message of God, and then the second one, I think they have a message of the stars. Kindness, gratefulness, and goodness. Babylon, get out, and there's Babylon's gonna be destroyed.
Can you take a guess where it would be in the Bible? I can tell you.
Probably in Genesis.
Genesis. Okay, it's actually in Revelation.
The last book?
No,
I was 65 books away.
The three angels' messages for kids and the three angels' messages today curriculum are game changers. I am so excited about them. It allows us to introduce this very vital message to our children in the correct biblical context of God's grace and God's love. It is indeed what God has called the Seventh-day Adventist Church to share to the world. For too long and for too often, we've allowed others to take this message and sometimes take them out of the biblical context. So I am so appreciative of the deliberate, intentional, and strategic approach that the curriculum takes. May God bless our teachers and our administrators as they move the curriculum forward. And may God bless our students as they learn these vital, relevant messages for the time in which we live in the context of the love of God and the mercy of a soon-coming Savior. God bless you.
Welcome to West Coast Christian Academy in beautiful Bradenton, Florida, with Mrs. April Nowotny teaching our 3rd and 4th grade Three Angels for Kids unit to her students in grades 4 through 6.
What I love about the story is that the author crafted it in such a way that it is not overtly about the three angels message, but yet the students are being able to internalize and being able to get a real view and a real picture of what the three angels message is about through the lives of the characters, and how the author brought Beth and her dad into a situation that brought the three angels message to life. So by the end of the book, the students have a broader understanding of the three angels message, even though it wasn't just put in front of them. It's taken down to their level and made interesting through the story and the narrative. Who can give us an example of a person versus nature dilemma? How about Fanela?
The 10 plagues of Egypt, because they had locusts and frogs and all types of nature, like their cows were dying, drought, and all stuff like that.
Absolutely. So, Caleb.
The sons of thunder, James and John, trying to decide who should get the better place in heaven.
That's right.
Hi, I'm Keith Hallam, Vice President for Education at the North Pacific Union. I'm excited about being able to share with you our endorsement for the Three Angels Message curriculum for young children. Revelation, story of Jesus and how much He loves us. Our children need to know that Jesus has done everything for them and is wanting to explain to them what's going on and what's happening in this world, and that Jesus is coming back for you.
Okay, who here knows anything about angels?
They're bright.
Ooh, if you know about angels, raise your hand. Oh, excellent. You all know about angels. I can see those hands up. Very good job. Now I'm going to have you do something. Put your hands down. Tell the person next to you what you know about angels.
Each child has a wonderful opportunity to learn about the Three Angels message in their grade level. The material is so great that even my son Carter comes home and we have these deep conversations about the three angels' messages. What a wonderful curriculum that's been made.
In 1965, I was chosen as a student missionary from Atlantic Union College to go to Brazil. We worked on the Amazon River on the Lucero 6 for a while, and that was an amazing experience, treating native populations in the villages. But one of the most remarkable trips in Brazil was a time that we took a Red Cross ambulance from Belém, Brazil, through the jungles to Fortaleza. The Red Cross had shipped the ambulance in. It couldn't get into the port because of customs issues in Fortaleza, so we had to drive it from Belém. Now, in those days, 1965, Castelo Branco was the president of Brazil. They were just building Brasilia, and so we had to take a dirt road down through the jungles. We probably went 60 miles on a paved road and then a dirt road through the jungles. And it was a long, long journey, a few hundred miles journey. And I remember on one occasion, we were 60, 70 miles from the nearest village. We were going down a rough road, a lot of rocks in it. We had come to a number of rivers where we had to build bridges to come across. It was really a primitive area. As we were going down this one hill, kind of like into a ravine, the ambulance that we were in began to bounce around. Now, there were three of us in the ambulance, myself, Dr. Rocco, Dr. Murillo. And as we were going in this ambulance, and it was kind of bouncing around, the driver went to shift, and he missed the proper gear to shift in, shifted in reverse. We heard all the crankcases shattering, and of course, we came to a grinding halt very quickly. We wondered, what are we going to do? We're 60, 70 miles from the nearest village. We're way out in the jungles. What are we going to do? We remembered that a jungle truck would pass us about once a day carrying rice to the villagers. So we decided to wait for that jungle truck and ask if one of us could go back to the neighboring town or village 60 miles away and radio our mission headquarters to get us help. And so Dr. Murillo agreed that he would go. We waited for the jungle truck. It came along. He begged a ride on the truck. The driver took him. That left the two of us, Dr. Rocco and I, in the jungles. As we were there, Dr. Rocco began to sing a song, I know the Lord will find a way for me. If we do what's right and live a holy life, the Lord will find a way for me. And so we sang that song. One day went by, no response at all from our friend who left for 60, 70 miles away, no response. Second day, no response. And, I'm a young college student. I celebrated my 21st birthday in the jungle. And every day I'm getting hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. Well, we met a group of Indians from the Krakati tribe that came along, and we began bartering with them. They saw a machete that I had, and this young Indian wanted the machete. And so we said, look, if you'll get us some food, they knew a little Portuguese, and Dr. Rocco spoke Portuguese, and we kind of mixed Portuguese and native language. And so the Indian said, look, if you give me that machete, I'll get you some food. But he indicated that I had to go with him. So at 21, I began to walk through the jungles with this Indian, and we walked for what I thought to be 2, 3, 4 miles, came into a clearing where there were 21 huts. I was the only one there, of course, from the Western society. All the Indians looked at me, and they wondered, who is this strange guy in our village? They weren't too happy to see me there, but this young Indian wanted that machete so badly. Finally, we came to one hut, and he pointed to this skinny, scrawny chicken, more bones and feathers than flesh. And I thought, oh my, here comes my lunch. And he pointed to that thing and he began chasing it. Well, I came from the city. I wasn't used to chasing chickens. And he was on one side of the bush and I was on the other. And he chased it and it ran right past me into one of these huts. And he went after it and whapped that chicken, handed it to me upside down. I had to carry it by the legs, carried it back those 2 or 3 miles, and he came with me. And we asked him if he would slay the chicken, but it was against some superstition that they had. So we cut the head off that chicken, and blood went everywhere, and I began to pluck the feathers off and stuck a stick through it and roasted it over the open hearth. And you know something? That skinny old dirty chicken was the last piece of meat I ever ate. I became a vegetarian quite quickly in the jungles. But let me tell you a prayer story. We were there, another day went by, nothing to eat, another day. After about 5 days, I remember one day I was in the back of the ambulance that we were taking, I was praying. I said, "Dear Lord, you know how hungry I am. You know I haven't eaten." You know, some people say if you don't eat for a day or 2 days, you then lose your hunger pangs. Don't believe them, you don't. In fact, the more the time went on, the hungrier I got. I was in the back of that ambulance praying, and as I was praying, I heard, it was at night, I heard beep, 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 and I couldn't believe it. We're in the middle of the jungle. Open the back of the ambulance, the lights of a truck shone in my eyes, and I get out and called Dr. Rocco. We went out, and there was this truck driver. He handed a box full of food through the window of the truck, and he said, "Your friend who's in that village has radioed, and they're going to send a helicopter for you to get you out of here, to repair the ambulance, really, because you can't leave the ambulance. It's Red Cross. But they're going to send a helicopter. But he knew you'd be hungry. Here's the food." And you know, in those jungles of Brazil and working on the Amazon River, I learned this important point. There is a God who answers prayer. I saw very real situations that we were in, very tragic situations, and God answers prayer. He did it for us, and He'll do it for you.
Several years ago, when I was a superintendent in Arizona, I found out about the Three Angels curriculum, and I was so excited. I wanted all of my students in all of our elementary schools to participate in this program. And so we decided to do the 2-week curriculum all at the same time, consecutively, in the month of March. And we had Sandy Duran actually join us on Zoom for the second week, doing a week of prayer for us at the same time. And the feedback that I got was just phenomenal. The kids just loved it. They loved, especially the week of prayer and being able to directly talk to the author of what they were studying. But they really just learned so much about Jesus. It really helped to simplify the Three Angels message for them. Several commented that they had heard about it in church. They hear it's a catchphrase, but they really were able to unpack it and understand more of what it means to them and just deepen their relationship with Jesus. And we actually had several baptisms that came out of that program. So I highly recommend it. It's a wonderful program.
So in the Southern Union, teachers are really excited about the program. I just received an email from one of the teachers from Carolina Conference, and he's saying how wonderful the kids are taking the program. He teaches 7th to 8th grades, and they love the program, the resources, the narration from Dr. Duran, and most of all, they love the idea that judgment is different from earthly judgment, in that Christ is the judge and the lawyer for us. Now that's grace.
Boys and girls, today we are going to start with lesson 6, conflict of interest versus conflict of the ages. And it is an activity that we're going to do. So I think you're going to enjoy this. Question. This is the question that we're going to be talking about and debating. Can someone serve as judge and attorney for the same case?
Because the two different sides of this one person have conflicts of interest. The judge needs to be completely unbiased. The lawyer wants one specific person to win, but the judge wants to have both of them to have a specific chance. But because it's a neutral and far in one direction, this would be neutral, this would be in one direction, they still have to meet in the middle, which is biased towards this one person, not towards the other.
But the lawyer doesn't want, obviously they want them to win, but also they want to have a fair thing for everybody, because even if they're guilty or not guilty, the other lawyer or the other client might try to hide something that the judge doesn't know, so the lawyer has to
After the training, the teachers picked up this curriculum and ran with it because it was just so easy. The teachers' guides are so easy to follow. This is what our children need. The Three Angels curriculum, they need this curriculum to learn about Jesus.
They may be small in size or quite large, but they have something important things in common. Let's look at the apple and orange as samples.
Okay, so like we look at the apple and orange and we notice that they both have some important things in common. We know that they're both what? What are some of the things in common?
Healthy.
Yeah, they're both healthy what? Fruits. And we need fruits for our bodies so that we can have healthy bodies and healthy mind. They are nutritious fruits. And so those are some things that they have in common. So if we're writing an essay, and we are writing a compare and contrast essay, so of course we want to begin our essay with a very good hook. What do you think that hook? And before we go on to that, what do you think was the author's purpose for writing that essay?
Three angels in the sky.
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
The first angel said, "Give God the glory. He's always fair and good and true. He'll do what's right for me and you. He made the earth and outer space. Now go and tell in every place."
The second angel said, "The city's going down. Watch out, be safe, get out of town."
The third angel said, "Be patient, trust Jesus, and light and dark. He'll always protect you, like Noah in the ark." Three angels in the sky.
To show the love of God on high.
And when their story's said and done,
we all look up and see God's Son.
Hi, I'm Derek Timms. I'm the religion teacher at Ozark Adventist Academy, and we're here with an update about what we've been doing in our evangelism program. I got an email this summer that invited me to special training in Haymarket, Virginia from Three Angels for Today, and they were able to take me out there to get trained by Mark Finley from his book, Three Cosmic Messages, Earth's Final Conflict. And what's really neat is while we were there, Three Angels for Today made a Bible class curriculum that we are able to follow here at Ozark that actually trains our students to be evangelists themselves and to put on their own evangelistic series. So all the presentations and the notes and the practicing that we've been doing all year has now come to fruition, and we are doing an evangelistic series at Ozark by the students for the students. And I just can't wait to see how they are going to minister to each other and to all of us.
When everything in our lives may seem to be falling apart, and nothing is going the way that we planned, there is something solid we can stand on. Do you remember the story that Jesus told of the two houses? One was built on the rock and one was built on sand. Or maybe you remember the song better. The wise man built his house upon the rock. But let me spare you the rest of the song. One house was built on sand and one house was built on the rock. When we build our houses and lives on the sand of human opinion, human reliance, we will fall. But when we build our houses on Jesus, the rock, we will stand firm. We have the safety of Jesus, by Jesus, through Jesus, because of Jesus. Will you make your choice today and stand with him? Will you make him your safety?
Right. Just the one hope that I have is that through us being up there speaking, whether it be just me, whether it be us in a pair, my one hope is that I can convey the message well enough through the Holy Spirit's help so that it won't be me seen or my words that are heard up there, but that it will be simply Jesus' words that are heard and understood throughout.
We can be assured through Christ's victory in heaven and through his victory here on earth that we too can win against evil each and every day through whatever struggles and obstacles we come across. Jesus has never yet lost the battle against Satan, and he will not continue. He will continue to win. He will not lose.
God's prophetic timetable. And at first when I saw that title, I was like,
I don't have a clue about this, but when I looked at the slides and everything, it was just put numbers. But then I started slowing it down, and I just saw it all come together, and how it's really about God's perfect timing and prophetic timing, and how everything comes together, and it just really opened my eyes a lot to this isn't something that is hard to understand. It can, if you slow it down enough, if you take the time, you pray about it, God will give you understanding.
Because I never really understood the book of Revelation because it was written in symbols that were confusing, and there wasn't really someone to explain it to me. So getting to study this and learn it for myself and then teach it to others, I think that was a big connection between myself and the audience.
My teachers have asked for this for a long time, and they absolutely love that they can adapt it to multiple subjects.
We need this now because the Lord is coming soon, and we need this 3 Angels for Kids program in every one of our schools in the Southern Union.
This is so straightforward. It's so easy to follow. I'm so excited to get started.
The most exciting part of this program is that the kids, they want to learn and know more than their parents.
3 Angels for Kids. What an amazing curriculum for pre-K. Can you believe it? I'm serious. This curriculum is so well written for the developmental level of 4-year-olds, pre-K. It is down to earth, it is fun, it is engaging, it's very positive. The children are not afraid of the message of the 3 angels. I mean, it is just a fantastic curriculum. You have got to try teaching it with your children.
Our school is so excited about 3 Angels for Kids. Our teachers just received the information. They are ready and set to share this important information with our students.
Another valuable piece of the 3 Angels curriculum is that it was built with multi-grade teachers in mind. More than that, it was built by a multi-grade teacher. And so from its very inception, that unique application was built into it. And so we really appreciate that part of it. We'd like to see more of our curriculum adapting naturally to multi-grade.
So it's really encouraging to know that there are educational leaders who embrace the need for allowing students to have an understanding of not only end times, but how it all comes together with the love of Jesus so displayed through the 3 Angels messages that students can really grasp the deeper meaning of some biblical truths. And so in our union, we have, for example, in the Michigan Conference, schools like Greater Lansing Adventist School, the Eau Claire Adventist School, and the Village School in Barron Springs. Just an example of some of the schools that are currently using the 3 Angels for Kids curriculum. I would venture to say that when this was introduced to our superintendents, there was a high degree of excitement about what that could potentially mean for really amplifying our students' understanding, no matter what age level they were, of the 3 Angels messages, deeper truths in Revelation that could be made so simple and so understandable. And so that really engendered a lot of excitement from our superintendents at that time. So we appreciate the opportunity to be able to provide this kind of curriculum. And I'm sure to some extent at a secondary level, elements of the curriculum are being incorporated. So we certainly appreciate having that opportunity.
And the 3 Angels curriculum that you've pulled together, I think, is a very valuable resource and tool that I would like to see all of our schools using it, to introduce our kids to their important message in Revelation 14.
We're just so thankful that we have this curriculum for our students, these lessons. It's allowing them to learn in ways they hadn't learned before. And so it's impacting their lives.
So I want you to think critically as we move into the video. The issue is, does a private organization putting a religious emblem on public land violate the Establishment Clause? That's the question I want you guys to keep in your head.
I think the cross should stay up because, like Natalie said, freedom of religion, and I think if it's taken down, then it takes that right away of expressing yourself and like of religion and stuff. So if it's taken down, it could have people start wanting to stop having people not pray in public or express themselves like that.
I think the cross should stay up because it is not forcing anyone to do anything. It's just a monument and a sign of something that was also erected by non-Christian people. So that doesn't force anyone to do anything at any moment.
I'm going to give you a number. Each of you are going to have a number, and each of those numbers you're going to do a little bit of research. Okay, so you guys can pull out your computers. You guys are already broken up into rows. We're going to stay in your rows, but this is going to be your group. Okay, so you're going to be number 1. Grace, you're going to be 1, and Natalie, you're going to be number 1. You guys are going to be researching American Atheists versus Port Authority of New Jersey and New York. All right, so jot that down, and then you'll be doing some research on that.
Can I say it again?
Okay, this is American Atheists versus Port Authority of New Jersey and New York. All right, number 2, students number 2, this is this row right here. You guys are going to be researching Freedom from Religion Foundation versus Weber. Freedom from Religion Foundation versus Weber. Okay, and students number 3, in this row here, you'll be researching Freedom from Religion Foundation versus Lehigh County. Freedom from Religion Foundation versus Lehigh County. And then everyone in this column here, you'll be researching American Legion versus American Humanist Association. American Legion versus American Humanist Association. All right, and then on the end, the 2 here on the end, you'll just join the group and learn from them as they research. You can help the person next to you to do that research. Okay. All right, so go ahead and break into your groups. Kind of circle the wagons, however you need to do that, and start that research. And then you're going to come back together and teach everybody in your group what you have now become an expert on.
If someone asks you to do something wrong, to break one of God's commandments, what will you do?
I'd say, "You're not my mother," and I'd just walk away.
Joella, what do you think it's going to be like when Jesus comes again?
Well, I think God is going to say, "Angels, unite," and then the sky rips open, and then a bunch of angels just go down to the ground.
I'm not afraid of God's judgment hour because I know He died on the cross for me and that He loves me. And the 3 angels' message tell you that the judgment hour is right around the corner, so get ready.
I learned about the 3 angels' messages. Now I'm ready for Jesus to come.